Are we on? Are we live? Do we hack it?
Yeah, there I am. Welcome, the Opinionated Prepper. This is Steve, pirate o' the airwaves. Nah, just kidding. Trying out some new stuff. How you guys doing today? I'm in a pretty good mood. The sun's starting to peek out now, looking through my window. This morning it was like 68 degrees outside, and it was rainier than heck, but we need the rain anyway. So I was happy. You know, and then I'm thinking, 2 days ago it was 193.7 degrees outside. And now it's like 68. Winter time is here. It's really not. But you need to start thinking about it. You know, the whole point of being prepared is thinking in the future and seeing what might come in the future. Not have your head stuck firmly in today. I know the Bible says don't worry about tomorrow, let tomorrow worry about itself. Today's got its own problems to deal with. But if you're planning on living past today, you might want to think past today. And it will get cold. And even though they're predicting a warmer season, which really sucks, it's going to be like the 40s and 50s where I'm at all winter long. And that's a summer night from where I'm from. But still, I'll take 40s and 50s. But you never know what's going to happen. You look into Texas 2, 3, 12 years ago. I don't know how long it's been. Might have been yesterday. Don't know. I kind of reset when I sleep. But in my earlier videos, I referred to a friend that I have in Texas. She disappointed me greatly. Grew up with her. She grew up in the Catskill Mountains in the hills of New York, where I'm from. So she's used to cold weather, and she's used to being prepared for it. You know, chains, tire chains, snow chains in the back of your truck, throwing a whole lot of wood when you have a pickup truck so you get a little bit more weight so you can get a running start up those real slick hills. You know, seeing a big thick ice patch whenever you're walking downhill and you decide to run and stop real quick and slide, and then you hit the end of the ice patch and you get some gravel, and then you do a nose plant. Explain to your mom how she should be very disappointed in your upbringing. But I digress. She was in Texas when all that bad stuff happened during the wintertime. You know how the Green New Deal was supposed to keep everybody full of energy, but they froze, so they used petroleum, fossil fuels to thaw it out. And then they had $12,000 electric bills afterwards. She was in that, and she had a fireplace, but she wasn't thinking because it's warm down there. You know, I mean, it's warm enough to where you can just use electric heat, anything like that. Still need electricity if you have central gas heat or propane heat, because you need the electricity to run the blower. Got down to 19 degrees in her house, she told me. Trying to keep her dogs warm, trying to keep her and her husband warm, trying to be fed because nothing to cook with. They were out in the middle of the storm, walking around in the storm, and they came across an old wooden 2x4 sawhorse. I don't know if they stole it. I don't know if they knocked on the door and asked if they could have it. I don't know if it was trash. I don't know if the person gave it to them or not. I don't know. None of my business. I don't care either. They were in survival mode. Things happen. But they had to go 3 days with using that wooden sawhorse. And if anybody has made a wooden sawhorse with 2x4 scraps to use in a pinch, you know that it's not much wood. Anybody who's used treated lumber inside a fireplace knows it's not a good idea. But hey, they were cold. You gotta do what you gotta do. But that long intro brings up my point. Do you have an alternative source of heat? You know, over in my locals channel, I went into deeper detail. You know, but last year I was thinking about it, and I'm one of those people If you heard that, I need to give my boxer a bath. She's dirty and scratching. She's doing it right next to me. So she's letting me know I stink. Do your job, Daddy. But, sorry, lost my train of thought. I'm always wondering about heat. I always want to keep everybody warm. And I've done things, you know, I've tried some stuff. I don't have a fireplace or a wood stove or anything ventable in my family room. So I come up with other ways. And I don't want to be dependent on propane, especially since the price quadrupled in the last 2 years. You know, what was $15 to fill a cylinder is now like $50. You know, I don't want to be dependent on that. So I started looking and I started trial and error everything. And I bought this thing called a chimina. For those of you that know. For those of you that don't, it's like an outdoor patio fireplace. It's a big, huge clay pot with a hole in the bottom, you know, for the doorway. And you load it up with lumber and the smoke comes right through the little stack on top. I kind of wanted to modify that a little bit. So I put a heat and air elbow, a duct on it that fit, and I think it's 8-inch. Different size chiminas, different size duct. It's up to you. But I took a coffee can, regular coffee can, small coffee can, took a roll of toilet paper because I have 50 kajillion rolls of toilet paper, because I didn't want to go looking for pine cones when all of the people that lost their nut went out and robbed us of all the toilet paper. If you're a fan of Supernatural, you should have watched the movie Supernatural. It was prophetic. The one thing that he could tell you about the apocalypse is hoard toilet paper. Hoard it like it's gold. But I digress. I took a roll of that toilet paper, took the little plastic, cardboard paper, sorry, roll out, so it was nice and malleable. Scrunch that little puppy up, put it in the coffee can, have 91% rubbing alcohol, burns nice, filled it up to about 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch from the top, light that thing on fire. May smell a little bit, kind of like you're burning a Band-Aid, but that smell goes away. But if you're cold, you can overlook the smell. But that thing heats, and it heats quick, and it will stay lit, and you don't have to worry about putting it out before it starts burning your toilet paper wick for about 30 minutes, give or take. You know, all depending on how you build it. You know, so you could sit for 30 minutes with a nice fire. And with that chimina, you know, you set that in there, and the clay gets really nice and warm. You know, I mean, it won't burn things down, but it's warm to the touch, a little bit more than warm, a little bit less than hot. And with that elbow on the top of it, the heat just didn't go straight up through the ceiling. It was diverted out into the sitting area. So you have yourself a nice fireplace when you have no way to vent a fireplace. Pretty easy, not expensive to buy rubbing alcohol. As long as you put it out before it starts burning the toilet paper, you don't have to continue to put toilet paper in. It will act as a wick, like in a lantern or a candle. Well, not even a candle, a lantern. And as long as you keep it fed with the source of rubbing alcohol, it won't burn. So you can use it over and over and refill it over and over. And it's an instant thing. As soon as you put it out, grab a pair of pliers, because it's hot. Don't touch. No, hot to the touch. A metal can gets hot when there's fire inside of it. Grab a handle, pair of pliers, something. Pull it out, fill it up, put it back in again, boom, light it. You're good to go. I did that, but, you know, being from up north and growing up with the smell, a wood fire, and knowing just how calming and comfortable it is, I miss the pops and the cracks of a fire. I miss the smell of a wood fire. It seemed pretty much like if you got an electric fireplace and you just got it going. There's just something missing about it. So I went in and I made that little puppy. And yes, it's the fireplace and the bookshelf and the gun cabinet all connected into one. No, this isn't a recent picture, so don't worry about the Christmas stuff. I took that a couple of months after I built it last year, and it was right around Christmas time. But you need to focus on the burning, the things inside that fireplace. That's what I'm talking about. And that is what a more detailed video is about that I posted on Locals. If you really want to learn about it, follow me over on Locals. But that is a gasifier can stove, and I'm not going to get into huge detail here on the tube, but this is pretty much what it is. And I made extra of them in that fireplace to capacity. It'll hold 3 of them, and then you take out the hot one. It takes a while to cool down. You put in a new one, and you can keep fires burning all day long. You can fill them with wood chips, any type of biofuel, anything like that. My wood chipper, when I'm going through making mulch and everything, I'll save a whole bunch of it just to use for that. But last year they were having an excellent deal on wood pellets for pellet stoves. It was like not quite $7 for a 50-pound bag, so I stocked up. I'm good for a while, and when I say a while, I mean a while. And I kept that going all day, every day, in my family room, all summer long, or winter long, I'm sorry. All winter long, which, I mean, the cold weather, you keep the fire going, it's about 3 months, maybe 2.5 months, where you actually need some heat. And it would cost me about a bag, $6.83. So I was getting heat and heating my family room and heating it roasty toasty with the comfortable feeling and the comfortable smell and the nice heat. $6.83 a month. A little bit more because whenever I use the wood pellets and I want to do it inside, I use a little bit of a bottle of the vehicle carburetor cleaner of heat. Very combustible, works very quick. A cap full in one of those cans will engulf it quickly, so you don't have to worry about the small amount of smoke escaping while it's burning, trying to burn evenly. So if you don't want to go outside for 5 minutes, and burn up that extra fuel and stuff, use a little bit of that heat and it'll combust everything. You can use rubbing alcohol as well, but the rubbing alcohol, just to me, it doesn't do as good. And a bottle of heat is like $4, and you can use it for many things, and I stock up on that stuff too. But this gasifier is 100% absolutely no smoke. I'm not going to let you see the inside of it because twice already I've tipped it upside down and I've got ash all over me because I'm an idiot. But regardless, that'll burn for about 35-40 minutes. I'm not going to go into detail, but pretty much with all the holes, with the way you design it, with the cans, and the cans was more or less scavenger prepping. It's a quart can of stain that was left over after I stained the fireplace, and it was an old can of enchilada sauce that I used from dinner for myself and my grandsons the night before. So it didn't really cost me anything when it came to that. It's pretty good. You drill some holes, you get it right, you get the right stuff. Like I mean, it's tedious and you have to pay attention to it, and you can do trial and error, and there's certain schematics that you need to do, but it's not hard. It's not extremely time consuming, and you can figure it out. But it's 100% no smoke. I mean, if you look, I'll show you this other picture right there. That's the middle one out of 3 different cans, and you can see that it's burning, and it's burning pretty good, and there's no smoke. And if you look through the top, I put the 3 duct elbows on there to divert heat and bring it out instead of bringing it up. And you need to make a firebox, you need to line it with metal. You can't just have it up there. Don't try this at home, children. If you really, really need some help, just message me and I'll tell you how I built the fireplace itself. But it's no smoke, none whatsoever. It'll burn 35-40 minutes. It burns. I'll use it as a thumbnail. The thumbnail I'm showing, you'll see a digital thermometer. Well, I can show it again. If you hear some clicks, it's because I'm trying to find the picture. So I'll show it again, but I just wanted to test it to see about how hot it gets. And if you could tell, 148 degrees, hot enough to keep your house warm. So if you want to do something like that, plenty of places on YouTube that you can find gasifier can stoves, and you can find the schematics and the tutorials and how to build it step by step. If you want to message me and ask me about it, I'll be more than happy to tell you what I did with it. If you want to see a more detailed showing of the gasifier can stove and what it does and how it works, and you want to hear more about this, follow me over on Locals. I'd appreciate it. But that's pretty much what it is. You can do so many things. You can get propane with a little tiny heater that fits on top of the cylinder. You can get a bigger heater with a hose, and you can use propane in a pinch. It's pretty easy if you want to risk running out before the electricity comes back on, or the heat. Or you can do step by step with many different ways to heat yourself, which is what I do. I have a plan B and a C and a D and an E. Load up with sleeping bags, load up with blankets, put plastic on your windows to save the draft. Many things you can do to keep the house warm, and not all of them consist of putting a hole in your ceiling and through your roof and venting a wood stove or a fireplace. You can do these things, and it might take a while. For me, it takes quite a while. I have to stop and start and stop and start and stop and start. But if you start around now, start around September, you'll definitely have a plan before you need it. But other than that, guys, I appreciate you stopping in. Down in the description, see the same old. Coffee, it's good. A book is good. An email, if you want to talk to me. You'll see a thank you. Where you can follow me on the Facebook and the X, Twitter. Got a Rumble channel. Post the same videos, but Rumble, most of the time I'll do another video and kind of go more in depth because it's a little freer and I don't have to watch my P's and Q's as tightly as I do. There's also a platform if you want to get on, and if you like the social media community and you like those platforms, if you don't really like seeing all the ads, if you don't like having to go through all of the guidelines and all of the stupid fact checking, head on over to TPH Network. It's a social network platform, much like Facebook, much like Twitter. There's like-minded people. If you're watching this video, I would assume that you're fairly like-minded when it comes to stuff like that. But there's many diverse people, many groups. If you want to find things like this, if you want to find tips on gardening, it's almost like a Freestead social platform, homesteading, prepping, news of the day, things that we think may be beneficial that other people might learn a thing or two. Cartoons, funny videos, joking, cutting up, same as Facebook, but like I said, the restrictions aren't as many. As long as you're polite and as long as you're not inciting any negative emotions like violence and insults and offense, and you're picking on people and you're calling a ton of names, you know, you're not going to get yanked near as quick as Facebook. But if you continue a pattern and you're just one of those people that shouldn't be on a platform, you won't be on the platform long. But it's very free, it's very open, it doesn't cost you a penny, and you won't see one ad. Never an ad. You don't have to worry about it. There's a lot of things you can learn, and a lot of nice people that you can meet and you can establish friendships with. So if you're looking for something like that, head over there. You'll find me over there. Even though I'm on the Facebook, the only thing I post is when I drop a new video on the tube. That's it. If you want to hold a conversation with me, then you'll find me over there. You'll see my logo is my little logo. So it doesn't take much to find me. Like, share, subscribe. I'd appreciate it greatly. If you have friends and you think they can benefit from anything that I talk about here, I'd be more than happy to talk with them. Just share a link. If you have enemies and you want to waste their time, share me too. Just to give them a nudge. But, God willing, we'll see you tomorrow.